Well, the Italians will take the farming jobs, they'll force the blacks out. Italians are much more like us, so they'll vote with us, and we will diffuse the African-American vote. What they found out is the Italians liked the African-Americans. They bonded together, and we started lynching Italians. Probably for the first time in our history with any routine lynching. But it was because of this idea of being scared about racial threat, about threats to power. So every race, every culture, every age is discriminated against, every sexual orientation has a different story. And that's not to devalue any story, but we also can't say, oh, you're an oppressed minority, I will put you in category A. It doesn't work.
I think that one of the issues that arise whenever we start talking about issues of race and we talk about issues of disparities as it relates to blacks in America, we always have these conversations where women suffer and homosexuals suffer and everybody's has these civil rights issues, and indeed they do. But one of the things I want to be careful of is that we don't conflate these experiences. That we don't think that because women suffer, and indeed women, right, we suffer. However, the experiences of women, we have to be careful that we don't allow those folks who are in positions of power to get us to believe that everybody's suffering is the same. Right? Because it's not. It's a very unique experience. And so I want us to be comfortable having conversations about race and understanding that we do have disparities when we talk about imprisonment, when we talk about median income, when we talk about wealth. We have all kinds of disparities. But simply because they're all grouped at the bottom doesn't mean that their experiences in terms of how they got to the bottom are the same, or how they're going to come off the bottom is the same. So we have to be careful that we don't group them all together and attempt to come up with one solution that's going to fix everybody. Because we can't.
Before our next question or comment, I want to actually add to what Dr. Ofori-Dankwa said about what students do, was the question up front. And for all the students in the audience, I want you to understand, you're actually doing it now. You know, the fact that you care enough, for whatever reason, to come out to this open dialogue, because this is what higher education is all about. This is what makes this whole machine go around when you're talking about higher ed for society. So you're actually doing it right now. Next question or comment?
For me at least, how is it that I can go and explain all these things that are struggle and, disparity and everything that we go through is different from just women suffering and homosexual suffering? How is it that I can go and explain that to somebody who's not as open to accepting all of that?
I don't know that you can. I don't know that. When I first started teaching, I teach sociology, so I just knew I was going to change the world. I knew I was going to come in class, stuff I have to share is powerful, all this evidence. People are going to be, lives are going to be changed, people are going to turn around. And what I found is that doesn't happen. Some people are so entrenched in their views that it's impossible for them to be able to see an alternative way. And so I've come to a place after 18 years of teaching where I just want you to know that somebody else thinks different. I can't change, and we can't be responsible, we can't feel like it's our responsibility to change how people think, because we can't do that. That's their responsibility. You have to know who you are, you have to know what your experiences are, you have to know what's going on in the social structure that kind of prevents you from gaining access, so that you can manipulate that for your advantage, right? But in terms of changing other folks, we can't do that. It would be nice.
Well, you can tell your story. Is there your story? And also, I think if we find things that make sense to us, that we can try to tell simply and in compelling ways to others, if you can turn on, one warning cell in somebody and give them a step down the path, you have done noble service. It's wonderful work. But I mean, when I have trouble trying to tell students about, what is hegemonic thinking? What is thinking that I'm I give them Nike shoes with all the fluffy things at the bottom, and we train for 6 months, and I get them on a training diet, and that right over there, I go, surprise, marathon today. And this rank over here, I'm like, well, you know, we're giving some energy bar. And everybody has a different history. Now I set up with attention. Then I start running. And I run the race. So maybe there's a story. Maybe there's some way that I can tell people that everyone's story is different.
This is going to be our last question.
Actually, this is a comment. I came in late, so if I repeat something, I apologize. But to the gentleman who asked earlier, how do you say to somebody this is not just about race? It's about a whole set of things. It's about the assumptions that you bring to a situation versus the assumptions that the other party brings to a situation. We all have lenses that we view the world through. Those are our assumptions. And so my lens is going to bias how I behave. But this is also about power. And, you know, one of the great frustrations is that when you see police action that you think is inappropriate, we have given those folks power to protect us, and when they use that power to abuse us, it's particularly offensive and, you know, creates a much stronger reaction, I would say. And so I just think it isn't just about race. It's about a situation that any of us could find ourselves in because it's a power imbalance.
I thought if I could just share very, very briefly what I told my son. I told him that this is one heck of a country. This is a great country in that you succeed by education. So I told him, go out and make sure you get yourself as educated as possible. I also told him, if you encounter police, you have to remember that you say, yes sir, yes ma'am. You want to make sure you put your hands on the steering wheel and you don't make any sudden movements. And the last thing that I told to him is that you've got to strategize. The name of the game is you educate yourself so that you can move up and then you can help others. You cannot be a poor philanthropist. So you start by educating yourself and then you can help.
But I'll point out that's a conversation that my father never would have to have with me, and I would never have to have with my son.
In closing, I want to say a few things. First of all, again, understand that this was a very academic perspective through 5 different disciplines. There are many other perspectives, and I would encourage any and all of you who want to do another one of these to keep this going, to come and talk to me, or you don't got to talk to me, just do it yourself. You know, to me, programs are never done. It's what we do after the fact, so I'd encourage you to keep this conversation going. Again, I want to thank Tyler Bradley, who had this wonderful idea. Services, Dr. Zimmermann, Dr. Jolly, Dr. Ofori-Dankwa, Dr. Jorgensen, and last but not least, Dr. Hinton. Thank you very much for your wonderful insight. Thank you.
All the credit on the professor speaking. I just dropped it.
Good. How are you doing?
This one, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Take off your clothes so they don't make noise. Oh, I see. Okay. How you doing?
Doing well, how about you?
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for coming. Good comment.
Well,
Appreciate it.
sorry I'm so
Yeah.
late. I had an exam. Of course, I have three of them still writing.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for coming out.
See, I wasn't sure if you knew that you were at that exact same time. So it should be interesting. It should be interesting. I have one other Now, I see you talk about, is it Jorgen?
Jorgen.
Is that the one that's in the band?
Yeah.
Okay, I see you talking about him on Facebook. I didn't know that you had two sons. I thought it was just
Yeah.
Jorgen that was doing all of this stuff.
Every time you see the Palestine stuff, that's from my older son,
Oh, now what is his name?
Aaron.
Aaron,
Jorgensen
okay,
Briggs. And
okay.
he spent 2 months in Palestine last year.
Okay.
Or no, actually this year. It was January, February this year.
Okay.
And if you've seen the Wiffery stuff, that's the daughter.
You guys are all social justice stuff.
All of us.
All of it. Okay.
All of it.
That's Gail, how you been?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So you're back to work. You're feeling good?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. When did you start back? Did you
Oh,
start?
I've been back.
I've been back for a while.
while.
So you just missed one semester then?
Yeah, I just missed a long time ago. That was a long
Okay.
time ago. Okay.
We haven't talked in a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You know, I saw your friend at Hinton Valley, the two ladies, the older lady who has the red hair,
Oh, yes, yeah.
and the woman who's in the
Wheelchair,
Amiga.
Vicky, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where we went to see Raisin in the Sun.
Okay, yeah. I
And they
remember
were
this.
there.
I
They were
remember
there.
this, Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
did you get a chance to see it?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I did not.
It was pretty good. It was a while ago though.
Yeah, see, what has happened is that between, I have a bad shoulder now, I had these, I'm not driving myself, somebody else is driving me.
Are you?
So it's like every time I want to go somewhere, it's like, A, is this person available?
Yeah.
You know, as I joked with my students many years ago when I bought a house, snow went from just being a phenomenon to, is this a $25 snow?
Is it really worth it?
Yeah, well, can I pay somebody to come out and
Yes.
shovel or plow or
Yes.
whatever? And so now it's like every trip is a,
Yeah.
is this a justifiable,
Yeah. Yeah.
expenditure of my funds? And I'm thinking about trying to buy a vehicle that will be modified so I can just drive into it, which would be wonderful.
That would be lovely.
Do you know how much it costs to
That's what-
modify
yes.
a vehicle to do that?
We just had to get one for my grandnephew, so I know indeed.
About $20,000 to $25,000.
Really? Just to not to buy the
Yeah,
vehicle?
that's not, yeah.
To modify.
Just
for the modifications, yeah.
Yeah, and so I can afford to buy the car.
Yeah.
I can't afford to do
To fix it, yeah.
So I'm working right now with Michigan Rehab Services.